And this is Lian Sao. On your list, it's H-A-N. H-A-N, Lian Sao. And the Latin name is Ecliptae prostrata. And it's an annual. But because our winters are so mild here, it can keep growing, reproducing, and getting new plants throughout most of the year. So even though it tends to slow down in winter, plants still may stay green or start to germinate and hang around until spring or summer, then when it starts growing more. It reproduces through seeds. And with most annuals, you don't want to generally plant them in a pot and then disturb their roots and move them later on. The best thing is either to plant them in a pot and let them grow like that, or plant them directly in the ground and leave them undisturbed. So this one, you use the whole plant, basically above ground, the stems and the leaves, flowers too. And it's used for tonifying the yin. It tonifies liver and kidney yin. So it's used for things like blurry vision when there's a deficiency in the system, headaches, dizziness, can be used for sore or weak back or knees. And it's also used, I use this herb a lot with another herb for helping for rashes and skin outbreaks and skin problems where there's redness and possibly dryness or itching. It's used for cooling the blood, and so it can help when there's bleeding that's caused by heat in the blood. And it can be used for rashes too, as I say, where there's heat in the blood that's causing redness and itching and dryness. And then we have another herb in here that many of you may recognize, and you can pass some of this around. Smell it. You definitely should smell it. Rub it and smell it. So it's a scratch and sniff little thing here. This one I actually collected in China, outside of Yunnan, a few hours outside of Yunnan in the mountains. It's a really nice mint. So this is Wohe. On your list it's B-O. Wohe. B-O. And it's Mentha Haplocalyx. Mentha Haplocalyx. And this mint, mint is a very easy plant to grow. It's actually kind of invasive through runners. It'll tend to take over this whole bed, so we have to keep pulling out the new plants that come up. So if you want a lot of it, it's easy, but if you don't, then you either grow it in a pot or put some flashing material around it. It likes shade, but it'll grow well in full sun if it gets sufficient water. It likes moist soil. And this one, they use the whole plant. Again, the above ground part of the plant. The best part really though is the leaves without the stems. But you can use the stems too if you want to. It still has the value. And you don't generally cook this very long. You only want to cook this for a few minutes. It's usually added at the end of boiling a whole pot of herbs. So mint is a very good herb for helping with these kinds of colds and flus where there's signs of heat. Again, where you're going to have fever more than chills, and particularly a sore throat, headache, maybe red eyes, that kind of thing. It's also good for helping regulate the liver qi. And so it can be used for irritability, chest distension, and sort of a pressure when there's stress, and headaches. And it's also used too for treating what's called like summer heat, kind of a damp, like a bacterial infection you've gotten in your digestive system from eating some food that wasn't clean, where there may be like vomiting and diarrhea and possibly some chills and fever.